Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Welcome to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, brought to you by Revival Recordings.
Hello, and welcome back to You, Me, and the Scene podcast, brought to you by Revival Recordings. This week's episode, we're going to be joined by some special guests. In my head earlier, when I was like, oh, I'll wait until the video surprises who it is, and then I'm like, our trailer's going to show who it is anyway. So we're going to be joined by Chant. And yeah, so we're going to get into some topics with them, the origins of the band, what they're working on. And and they're from Thrillhouse's neck of the woods. So
yes, I got excited when I saw a phone number with 845 in it. So
I'm sure they'll have some fun things to discuss too while we're going. So we're excited to have them on. We're down E. We have one more episode after this of the quote unquote season that all four of us will be on. So hopefully you'll come back for season 2, guys. Not Amanda and Hayley, the listeners. Like, you guys are still coming back, but hopefully the listeners do. We're gonna do a little break for the holidays, and then we'll be back up and running after that. So exciting.
Nice.
Couple updates in the Revival world. By the time this comes out, Gold Steps will have dropped their cover of Taylor Swift's Blank Space. So check that out.
Which is the most Liz from Gold Steps thing ever.
So. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you listen to our Liz episode, you would know.
I was talking to her earlier about a quote, or I was like, did you change the lyrics any? So because I was putting it in the back end, and she's like, no, the lyrics are iconic and perfect the way they are. I'm like, okay.
All right.
That's enough.
All right.
Yes.
Other than the Taylor Swift cover, was there anything else we needed to mention at the top here?
Alisana, they'll be going out on tour in a couple weeks.
Back
following
on tour.
This.
Yes.
They'll be back on tour. From what I understand, there's still some VIP available. So if you haven't grabbed those, be sure to grab them.
Also,
because they are
speaking
selling.
of that, they are selling, but also they are very much still on sale. I see comments every so often that people say they can't find it or they think it's sold out. If something says it's sold out, it's probably just the tier 3 VIP, which is limited to 4 people per show. VIP in general is probably still available. You just have to look in the right spot. We could put a link in the description for this to find VIP.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. And don't forget, as I mention every time, it's gonna be Amanda's birthday.
It is gonna be my birthday.
So tip
birthday month
generously.
I need to pay my rent, so that would be a great birthday present.
So catch them back out on tour. They've been dropping awesome merch too lately, so go grab some of that, guys.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Dennis is killing that.
Yeah.
They're also it's kind of early to say this now, but we will have new Black Friday merch coming out.
Yes.
And that includes an Alisana item. So.
And it's sick. It is.
Other than all of that, we at the time of this airing or posting will have a new signing to announce, which is Chant from Hudson Valley, New York, and they will join us momentarily.
Welcome back to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast. We're joined with Gus and Dan from Chant, who Amanda just mentioned is our newest signing to Revival.
Yay!
I did it, Mom.
Yeah. So we're excited to have you guys. And we would have done the announcement. Well, this is the announcement if people are listening. And if not, you'll find out about it when we post about it later in the week. But here we are.
Yeah.
Or
This is
I
coming
forget.
out
Is this
the
coming out
day
after?
of
I
the
forget.
announcement.
No, it's coming the day.
Everything
The day
happens.
of. Got it.
Yeah, everything
Always
happens
say
on
yes.
that Monday.
All right.
I have it in my calendar because I have a bunch of stuff to do that day. So.
I got 3 jobs, things mesh together.
First of all, who are you and what do you do in your band for the people at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Dan, and I do vocals.
I'm Gus, and I play guitar.
Nice.
Awesome.
And there are 3 other people in the band.
There are.
Yes. Yeah, we've got Mike, Brandon, and Matt.
And
Who unfortunately
we were talking about what we were going to talk about on this episode, and I said that I was really excited that we're finally signing a band from where I'm from. So I think
True
that's
that.
cool as shit. 845, whatever.
Shout out Hudson Valley.
Yeah, I don't live there anymore. I left a while ago, but I wanted to get into how you guys all met and what the scene was like, finding your musician friends and stuff in that area.
Oh boy. So Gus and I go back. Well, Gus and I go back like coming up on probably like 20 years now that we've known each
wow.
other. And actually, it's still funny to this day. Every year, I gotta remember the exact date, but every year there's like a Facebook post. You ever go to like your Facebook memories?
Yeah.
There's one from like 2011 where I like tag Gus and I'm like, who wants to start a band with Gus and I? And then go figure, like 14 years later, here we are, 13 years. And yeah, no, I mean, back when we were doing like younger and stuff like that, the scene was like awesome. It was huge. Like, the difference between like Albany and like New York City, we were right smack in the middle. So like we kind of split the difference of all like the major tours that came through and stuff like that, which was awesome. So like, and this is when like the Chants and the Loft Theater, like, which is our primary venue, and Club Crandall and stuff like that, we're still kind of booming. And every like pretty much Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there was a show going on. And like as a adolescent youth at the early days of the MySpace, like if you weren't at the shows, who were you? You know what I mean? If you can't post your bulletin after the show to say saw you there, you know what I mean?
We were probably at a lot of the same shows if you guys were going to shows at the Chants.
Most definitely.
I went to every Alisana show there from like 2008 to 2012, so I'm sure we crossed paths at some point.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, Gus and I go back real far, and then Brandon kind of as well. Brandon has been around for a long time as well. And
yeah, when I moved to the Hudson Valley, like it was towards the end of high school and stuff, and getting into music and joining a band and stuff and starting to play local shows and meeting people. Dan, I think, we met at probably one of my first shows up in Poughkeepsie, back when I was in high school, and we kind of just hit it off and stuck together. We're both 2 kind of husky fellas in the scene, and we bonded over being 2 burly bearded guys, and it was kind of a match made in heaven. Yeah, we always tried and talked about making music together. Dan was in a bunch of awesome bands back in the day, and I mean, they were great.
They're so.
And it was always like, hey, if you ever need a guitar player, I'm there. And it just never worked out. And then I moved out west for a little bit. And when I came back, I started a band. Things didn't really work out. And Dan hit me up and he was like, hey, current project isn't really doing anything right now. I want to start something. Let's make it happen. So I went to their last show, met the rest of the guys from the band, or Matt and Mike, and we just hit it off immediately. And it was just lightning in a bottle. We got together January 1st, New Year's Day. We were like, hey, we're all off. Let's jam. Let's see what we can do. I'm pretty sure we wrote like the first half of our first song that day. And it was just, balls to the walls from there.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Never look back. 2 Husky Hudson Valley dudes.
Yeah, that's
Just
it.
Maybe that should
bonding.
be the title of this. Two
Two Husky Hudson Valley dudes.
Yes, the title of the episode.
I feel like that's
Right
going to
there.
hit a different algorithm than we're shooting for. But hey,
That's
well,
that sounds
Gotta
like a
grow the audience
website you're
somehow.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're everyone's invited to this podcast.
Oh yeah, that's a
I love
website
it
you
all.
don't tell people about though. Husky Hudson Valley Boys. That is not a website you promote.
Oh my gosh.
Stay away, kids. Stay away. But yeah, that's
I
pretty much
wonder
how it
if
happened.
someone
Like
will
Mike and
actually go and search that.
I might just.
Do we have-
Don't.
We have to buy the domain now.
Yeah. Doing that.
But
yeah,
yeah.
Mike, Matt, and I had a previous project, so I had actually met those two from that project because I didn't know them.
Yeah.
And Matt's been around for a while too. His brother was like in a lot of older like pop rock, pop punk bands from the area as well. But I never knew them, so I actually met them through a band member from that previous band, and then I don't know, we just gelled pretty quickly. The whole thing kind of took off. Like Gus was saying, like New Year's Day, pretty positive. We wrote like the first half of our first song, and we had like toyed about what kind of sound we wanted. And we had discussed like previously, like, oh, maybe we want to do this, maybe we want to do that. We just got in the room, and then as it started going, we were like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna be.
Yeah,
Here we are.
The blocks fell into place quite nicely, and then Brandon just so happened to be one of the best photographers in the area and videographers. So he was one of the first people we wanted to work with when we started the band. So he's been kind of a part of our creative process since the very beginning. And when our previous bass player, Luke, decided to, pursue other things, he, not right away, but eventually was like, hey, let's make this happen. And we were like, yes. And we absorbed him. And now he is
Absorbed him
integral
into
part
the
to-
Husky Hudson boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, although
We're gonna keep-
spelled.
He's not Husky. It's just Gus.
So,
And I.
a little an honorary one,
Yeah.
just absorb
Yeah.
him in.
They're burly. They're just not Husky.
What would have been really awkward is if he would have been like, "Let's do it," and they were like, "Can you even play an instrument?"
Yeah. He's like,
Something's not
hey.
adding up here.
All right, do you guys have a bass I could use?
Yeah. Hey,
Exactly.
Hey, man, I know you're the touring band, but can we borrow your gear? Or...
Nice set.
Gear share
Can
every
I
show.
borrow? But it is
Every-
it helps. It helps us out a lot, and obviously, like he's not the only visual artist in the band, right? More of you do that, or work with visuals.
Yeah,
as well, right?
I work as a product photographer, and I do like content creation for an online music store out here in the Hudson Valley. And I'm also I've been a concert photographer in the area for a long time, and Dan's quite a talented graphic designer, so we've been able to keep a lot of our creative processes in house. For the
Which
most part.
is awesome, and always. I feel like as a band, you always have to obviously before you're signed, have to do everything yourself. You kind of can't just be a musician. I think we've talked about this in our meetings before too. That bands kind of have to evolve into this business.
They wear many hats. Usually it's like one or two of the band members that take over that responsibility. So kind of take it upon themselves, but definitely a lot of work when you are doing everything yourself.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to outsource for sure. We've got a bunch of buddies who also do graphic design, so I'll bounce ideas back and forth with them. But ultimately, keeping it all as DIY as humanly possible, honestly, is probably one of the biggest things that kind of kept us going through COVID as well.
Yeah,
it was Gus having the ability and to demo from home, essentially kept the writing flowing going. And then anything we need graphically just to kind of hopefully stay relevant during such a tough time was huge. So if we had to outsource that when people were really struggling to financially make it, everybody's prices went up across the whole country. So the fact of being able to do it internally, I think really kind of helped keep it alive in a way. And then just kept doing it.
Right. You guys also, like, when I saw you guys out here it's over a month ago now, I think. And you showed me on your phone, you guys have just so much stuff like backlogged to work on going forward, and so much stuff written.
I mean, we have probably like, 10 demos from 2021 or 2022, not including like the 8 or 9 songs that have kind of loaded up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got plenty in the chamber to
just machines, content machines.
Yeah. Well, that was like the mindset originally. Like we recorded, I think the first time we recorded was maybe like May of the year that we like first started. And then we released the song. We shot the video in like August. I think we released it around August as well, or give or take. But when we released it in August, we were back in the studio like that month, and we recorded the next stuff. So like when we recorded like the EP, we put that out in January. When we put it out in January, we were in the studio again, and like we were recording the next thing. So like for a while, we were pumping stuff out every like 6 to 8 months, give or take, and like it's like usually, okay, we're going to release this. Great. We're going to go to the studio the month that we're releasing it. So we just have continuous stuff going. And then like, it was great at first. And like big ups to the work ethic on our end, but like, we definitely slowed it down and said, let's just do this a little bit more meticulous and like really, really, really kind of like dive in and digest what we're doing and just focus on like, is this sonically the best, or should we take a little bit of time, go back to it, listen again, and then change a few things? And I think that's worked out a lot better. I think the songwriting structurally and just sound wise has been like way better.
Nice. Yeah, some of the songs that we have that's currently sitting in a Dropbox folder right now that have me very giddy to release, because they're some of the best stuff that I personally have ever written, and I'm super proud of them. So just
keep an ear out.
It's a matter of time, but if you come to the shows that we're playing right after this podcast comes out, then you will hear
one
of the songs.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're playing a new song that's not released, so just putting it out.
Do you know those dates off the top of your head to plug them?
24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th of October. We're going out with God's Eyes.
Yeah, God's Eyes from Long Island. Actually, no, it's just the 25th will be in Baltimore.
25th.
26th in Doylestown, PA. 27th is a hometown show in Newburgh, which is going to be awesome. Ooh. And the 28th will be in Queens. All of the venues and stuff are on our Instagram, so go check them out.
Oh, nice. We got to get you back down to North
Shameless
Carolina.
plugging.
Yeah, no. So one of the beautiful things about playing North Carolina is that my dad lives down there, and
nice.
So when we got down last year, we played in Charlotte the night before, and my dad lives in Gastonia. Oh, so cool. we were in South Carolina the night before, drove up to Gastonia that night, spent the night at my dad's, and I got to see my little brother and my little sister and my dad and stepmom and everyone. And then also got to go sleep in not a hotel, trying to cram 5 people into a single room. But also just being able to see my family, any excuse to go down to North Carolina, I'm definitely on board. So we'll do that.
Just a quick note. In mind. I'm originally, my hometown is Shelby, North Carolina, which is about 20-30 minutes from Gastonia. So I know that area very well.
Yeah, it's there's a Facebook page called I forget what it is, but it's just posts and events that happen in Gastonia that are quite ludicrous, and it is very entertaining. So it's quite the area for sure. But any excuse to see family on tour is a good one. So sure. We'd like to make that happen.
So when you say you get a nice break and you get a nice bed, and Thrillhouse is the only one out of the 3 of us that is used to touring life, what is your guys' usual setup? Are you guys... Amanda has a specific spot in the van they have a specific seating like chart in the Santa van.
Well,
Are you guys that organized?
So no.
No.
I mean, we have our areas in the van when we're like playing passenger. Like we always kind of stick to one spot whenever we're not driving. But when we're on the road, and we're usually, anytime we get to tours, usually around the summertime, and it's really hot and it's a little too warm to sleep in the van. So what's $60 between 5-6 people to get a red roof in, and sleep in maybe not the nicest floor, but air conditioning.
I was gonna say $60 is being gracious, dude. We're talking like
In
they're
this
not red
economy?
roofs in. They're not red roofs in.
Oh
These
yeah,
are like
those were a little.
we got
bit
like
more.
this. Yeah, we got like this. We had it's still like to this day like the wildest place. We stayed at we had like a motel in the middle of nowhere, and so it's like the parking lot, and then there's a wood fence, and on the other side of the wood fence is a slaughterhouse.
oh my god.
And it was like
Nope.
it was
Nope.
like, oh my gosh, like this was like
Probably
the
get some
middle
good
of
songwriting
nowhere.
done there.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I slept like a baby. But sketchy.
I think we were there on a weekend though, so it wasn't.
Wasn't open.
It wasn't
No.
operating, no.
No.
There was no
But it was
screams coming from the.
No,
I didn't hear.
my cousin Vinny moment with
Does
this.
anybody else watch Schitt's Creek? Anybody else watch
No.
Schitt's Creek?
No.
There's an episode where they're like planning their wedding. It's this beautiful venue, and they're like doing the walkthrough of the like venue, and then all of a sudden you just hear like pigs squealing, and they're like, "What is that?" And it's like, "Oh, that's the slaughterhouse up the street," and they're just like, "Is that going to be happening while we're getting married?" It's funny.
Oh, do you
So I
want fresh
imagine
food
it'd be
for the wedding?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, maybe." It's
Yikes.
quite loud. Yes. Big Schitt's Creek girl. So. Funny.
My goodness.
It's okay. I think everybody has their show that they're like, I could see every episode a million
Yep.
times.
I can reference it's
literally-
like this in The Office. You can reference every single thing to it. So.
Yeah,
The-
The Office is a regular reference.
Yep.
Amongst the Ghost Chant fellas.
Before we hopped on, I just finished my most recent watch through of Seinfeld and just hit play on the first episode again. So there you go.
I've never
I
watched
love
through all of
Cheers.
Seinfeld's.
That's
love
such a that's the most random show to be like, yeah.
give me a good 70s sitcom. I'm into it.
Yeah.
70s, 80s. I'm like, I'm down. This is my vibe. I don't know why, but it is.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
have a Cheers bar? Like, if you had to pick a bar where you live, do you have a Cheers? Everybody knows bar.
I do. I do. To be fair, it's like it's at the corner of my block, and half the people that work there I've known for like a long time. But it's getting to the point where like even like the local creatures are like, I know that guy. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm just here for wings and football, dude. Like
You gotta grow your beard longer and start like disguising yourself so you can go in there. You're like,
I think I'll fit in more
unnoticed.
if I do that though. These are creatures, man. This is your hole in the wall local, like just somebody's leaving there with the DUI. Like it's guaranteed. You're like,
shout
oh,
out to
God.
those creatures that are definitely watching this episode right now.
Definitely.
What's up, guys?
Shout out to you guys. Call an Uber.
We usually are shouting out like Amanda's exes or people she got mad at on tour. So that's usually our shout outs. We're like, if just to know if they're still like keeping up with her and watching what she's doing.
No, it's
so.
always my test of like, they know who they are, and if they still check up on me, then it's your fault for checking up on me. So
They're like, yo, I watched this episode from like 6 months ago. Why you gotta say that? It was like 3 years ago. What is it from Superbad? It's like 8 years ago. Get over it. People don't forget.
Yes.
Oh man.
And neither does Amanda. So
No.
Literally ever. And ironically, they're all in the Hudson Valley, but rapidly getting away from the point. Getting it back on track. Hayley, you want to direct us a little bit?
Like we went for a little bit there, okay? I was holding us on point for quite a while there, okay?
Yeah, no, we were good.
By
we were
being
good.
quiet.
Name of the game: derail. That's the name
Derail
of the game.
the derail it. Okay, back to band things. You can derail it after this question.
Okay, Mom. What's up next?
Yes, if Gus and Dan, if you didn't know, I am the
Revival
label mom. And
Yeah.
so if you need to be bailed out of jail, don't call me. No, actually,
She will show up. She will show up though.
I will show up.
Yeah,
I
no,
will show
she
up
won't be
and,
happy about it, but she'll show up
Get him out.
She'll
of
give you
jail
a
now.
stern talking to after
with a
but-
clipboard.
It's not even to bail us out. It's just to give us the start talking to.
Just
cell.
just to laugh at it.
I drove all the way here to make a point, and you're not
That's
getting
it.
out.
She's not mad. She's just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
Oh.
It's fine. Okay. Anyways, back to the things. What do you guys contribute your like inspirations to when you're writing music? Like, I'm sure you have like bands that you have like grown up with, and that's kind of the sound, or not even the sound. You're not trying to copy them, obviously, but just have as inspirations for your music.
I mean, as a guitar player, and when I was early teens and getting into really focusing on music, I found myself bored of a lot of the core bands because I was like, okay, some of this stuff is it's cool to listen to. Some of the riffing is fun, but like it doesn't really do anything for me. And then I heard Seosin, and I heard the self-titled for the first time, and that record blew my mind. And I was like, wait, these guitar riffs aren't like bouncing just off of the open string and doing these, same like minor riffs. Like, Bo is one of my favorite guitar players. He has been for a long time, and now like we DM each other on Instagram every once in a while, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is happening. It's fun. But like that band kind of opened my mind a little bit with guitar playing and like how I wanted to write music, and also like how I wanted to perform, because watching them, like I saw them play at the Loft for maybe 2009.
You saw Seosin play at the Loft? Is that what you just said?
I'm fairly certain it was at the Loft. Yeah,
It was
That's
at the Loft.
insane.
It was like 07.
Yes.
It was a little bit earlier. Yeah.
And just being blown away at how much they were moving, how they weren't destroying their guitars on the like 5.5 foot ceiling that is the Loft, or the monitor that used to hang overhead. And just like completely blown away by that band. And also, I remember seeing the Ambrosia video and being like, these guys, how do they play guitar with their guitars flipping? And like the moves
And they all have the
stuff.
same haircut.
Yeah, how can they see? How do they do that? And like I never had like the cool swoop hair. I always wanted it, and I was like, I just want to like not be able to see what I'm doing when I'm playing guitar. But I was cursed with a hairline of non-existence, so I never got that. But those bands for me growing up, I was always like, the music was awesome, but also the performance was something that I was like, oh, high energy, high intensity all the time. And that's one thing that when we started not only writing music, but performing, we all try to give it, as much as we can all the time. And, by the end of tour, sometimes it's not always at the level that you want it to be, but the first couple of shows are always like, balls to the walls. I mean, every show we try to go balls to the walls, but yeah, those bands really were like integral in like my guitar playing. And still to this day, like I try to approach songwriting and my like approach to like writing leads and stuff to be melodic but not, you know, boring. And that's kind of my my spiel for like inspiration, stuff like that. I also listen to a lot of blues and a lot of like jazz and not typical core music. So those kind of, you know, certain chord voicings and stuff that I like to play around with don't necessarily come from the standard power chord, you know, all that stuff. So but yeah, those are kind of my inspirations when it comes to the musical end of things.
Nice.
His answer was way better than mine. Yeah, his answer was way better than mine. I'm like sitting here, I'm just like, damn, man. I was gonna be like, I just write about the things I see. I like to see stuff. I'm like,
they just pop in my head, like, and I just write them down.
You know, sometimes it's as simple as that. It's like, I used to write for people, like friends of mine, because like I was never really like younger. I was never good at like the whole like self-analyzing and like write about your life, because I'm like, boring. I'm living that. I don't want to write about that. So like I used to just like write about friends and like the things that they were going through, and then I wrote, it was a long time ago, but I wrote a song for another band way back in the day. And it was the first time I ever got like a message where somebody had been like, dude, like, I really thought about ending it. And then I read it. And like, that's when it completely kind of changed my mind about the way I write. And it became like more about less about like a specific story per se, but just more about like the emotions that people can feel. And like they don't always make sense, and like that's kind of what is beautiful about being a human, is like sometimes you don't get it, you just don't understand, and it's hard to like work around that. So I've always kind of just written from the perspective of just the raw emotion rather than trying to make sense of things.
Okay,
nice.
Jumping,
Yeah,
that's a good answer too.
That is a good
now
answer.
Now Gus is like, can I change mine?
If you ever need a good like heavy cry, just read the Ghost Chant lyrics. There's some songs that I listen to and I'm just like,
dude,
I shouldn't be feeling these kinds of, Dan shouldn't be making me feel these kinds of ways. But like,
I was cutting the ad. So I mean, when I say ad cuts, if anyone's listening and doesn't know what that is, we cut up a music video to be posted on like Instagram and socials, and we run ads with them. And I was cutting up the ads for I Know Everything and Dig, and I was so kind of bummed but they were great songs to listen to over and over again for work, so that was great.
Do you have a specific story behind I Know Everything? Like,
oh boy,
yeah.
I guess. I mean, I guess I'll kind of keep it short and sweet, really, and go. I won't go too far into it. So that one is a personal one.
Great job, Hayley. You picked the personal one.
No, hey, it's cool. No, it's cool. It was just it was kind of about like when my marriage started falling apart. So like it was just kind of the idea of like whatever it takes to like figure this out, like I'm willing to do it, like, and like it's like I know like everything's not okay and everything is like good, bad, falling apart, like everything isn't necessarily like an accusatory thing. It's just like I know everything, I get it, I understand what's happening. And then it's like kind of a mixture of that, but yeah, that's that one.
Okay. It's a great song.
It is a great song. I love it. It's such a good song. Well, let's take it up a little bit.
Oh, guys! now that we all are going to be crying, what's the next?
I was going to mention that there is a pretty, not contrast, that's probably the wrong word, but you guys do have a pretty wide range of like pretty heavy, super heavy stuff to like sing along type choruses and less. I appreciate the variety. Is there any direction either way with the new stuff that you're going to be working on, or
It's a little both.
Yeah, we've I think we've settled into a bit of a groove as far as the vibe for the new stuff, for sure. We have some of the heaviest things we've ever released. Like, one of the songs that I mentioned earlier is by far the heaviest song we've ever written. Like, it's I hope to see kids doing the spin kicks and jujitsu.
yeah, just beating the shit out of each other.
Kickboxing. I want to see more kickboxing, as Jay from mine but it's but then we also have like super groovy kind of sing-along stuff as well. So I personally love the eclecticness of our music, because like I said, like, having a band sound like just one thing all the time for 10 songs is
not interesting.
I like variety, and if I'm gonna be playing it, I'm gonna want to listen to it. So
yeah, no, it's like there's the big rule is like there's no such thing as a bad demo, right? Like you shouldn't be, if you wrote something really soft with like a really pretty melody to it that doesn't sound like it could work, you should still send it, because like it could. It could.
It's funny. So I Know Everything, the demo for that song was other band ? Because when I wrote it, I wasn't sure, because it's super light compared to the other music that we were writing at the time. So I wasn't sure if it was going to end up as a Ghost Chant song. I was like, it's definitely different than some of the other things that we had put out. And I brought it to practice one day, and everybody was just like, yeah, let's pick it apart and make it, give it the Ghost Chant sparkle. And I'm super happy with the way that it turned out, because I
do love that song. I think that's the name of the episode, Ghost Chant Sparkle.
Ghost Chant Sparkle. That's fun.
Ghost Chant Sparkle. Hashtag Husky Hudson Valley Boys.
Yeah.
Well, or like a hyphen, or like a colon, or like a electric boogaloo situation. We'll figure it out.
That's it.
Something.
Changing the Instagram handle.
Changing the band name, just like, yeah.
Listen, if Alexis on Fire can have the Alexis on Fire's website could be the only band ever, ours could be Husky Hudson Valley Boys, and it just brings you straight to our website.
Is that really their website?
Oh, Alexis on Fire's website for the longest time, I don't know if they changed it. It used to just be theonlyband.ever.com. I'm gonna check it. Hold on, I'm gonna check it.
It's so strange. It's so strange that you said
it is. It
that
100%
band.
still is.
It is. It still is theonlyband.ever.com.
I don't even want to go to Husky Hudson Valley Boys.com, because I don't
do it.
I'm on a work call right now. I don't think I should.
It's just going to bring you straight to a picture of me.
Safe for work.
It's so strange that you said Alexis on Fire, because that's actually they're my song of the week. They have a song of the week for them this week. We'll find out later, but it is strange that you just said them, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's in my head. What's happening?
I
mean, they were another band too that stood out so much when I was first getting into writing or listening to the style of music that I feel like, because they're definitely the previous generation of the vein of music that I feel like we kind of fit into. Maybe not so much on the heavier side, but like the dissident melodic kind of guitar music. Because, Dallas is an amazing guitar player. And back in the day, using all these crazy effects and stuff, delay in front of a dirty amp is my go-to lead sound. And that I wouldn't be in love with that sound if it wasn't for, the intro to Pulmonary Archery, that guitar tone, just clashing guitar, is my favorite thing. So bringing them up is very coincidental, because huge influence.
I'm still kind of stuck on Seosin at the Loft, and maybe I'm kind of misremembering the timeline of Seosin's career. But in my head, in 2007, Seosin. So the Chance, the little lore here. The Chance is a venue in Poughkeepsie, and the venue upstairs from the Chance was the Loft. Is it still there?
No, they closed the whole thing.
They
Whole
closed
venue got shut down.
I feel like I knew that.
Last couple of shows are actually within the next.
Yeah, Just
the
Surrender
week that the
is
show is
on Friday, and then Hate Breeze at the end of the month, and that's it.
Damn, that's
sad.
Really depressing. But my point was how a lot of venues have like the main room and then a smaller room upstairs. The Loft is the smaller room upstairs. So I'm picturing Seosin in 2007 in this tiny room that like feels like you're gonna fall through the floor into the ceiling of the Chance underneath. It's just insane.
Yeah, back in the day, that was like, that was the A room for the core bands. I remember seeing shows at the Chance, but it was always like, Everclear or, a big rock band or like eventually, these bigger metalcore bands and stuff were coming through. Absolutely. But yeah, 2007, the Loft and Club Crannel were, those were the places to
dude, A Day to Remember played Club Crannel.
Oh my god!
Club Crannel was like a 95 cap room. They played that room.
So
see, this is all right before I was allowed to go to shows. I was allowed to go in like 2008, 2009, so it was like right before that.
That's one of the beauties of the Hudson Valley is that, like, not to talk down about it, but it was like the B market in between, these two major hubs. So we get a lot of bands' first tours coming through the Hudson Valley. Like, I remember this a little bit later, but 2010-ish, The Story So Far on their first time on the East Coast, playing with, our friends at the time and 15, 20 other people. And 6 months later, they play a secret show before Bamboozle, and it's a madhouse. There's like 1,000 people cramming into a bowling alley. I remember going to it, and it was absolutely insane. But like, I got to see them play 6 months before, they did. I think Under Soil and Dirt had just come out, and they were awesome. And like, we got to experience a lot of these bands in such small, intimate rooms that, nowadays you couldn't even imagine seeing, a band like that.
And, then they sold the Chance and kept booking like a Leonard Skinner cover band. And that's what happened to that place.
It's true.
When you guys were going to shows back then, we always like get into conversations between like us three and the bands we have on is like what kind of emo we were, or like if you were, because we were all very different. Like Amanda was wearing her trip pants.
I can tell you right now. Hold on. I can tell you right now that me and Gus and Dan were all the same kind of emo because we lived in the same place.
Just because you were the same area.
Yeah.
So were you guys wearing trip pants?
Hey, they were hold on. They were the skinny trip pants. Okay, they were.
I'm sorry.
A lot.
Were you wearing the skinny trip pants?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It sounds absolutely ridiculous. I'm 99% positive. I don't think I've ever looked any different. I've always just been like a white t-shirt and like jeans. Actually, I mean,
I feel like that's very like pop punk like uniform there though, right? Like just the jeans, white tee.
It was
your gray hoodie.
Like,
that's like yeah.
Yeah, that was it though. It was there was like a hot minute for maybe like 6 months, right? And if you remember this, Gus will know. There was a hot minute for like 6 months where Old Navy bubble vests were like shit over your hoodie. Hold on. This is gonna be great. Hold on, this is good.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you have one.
This is why we asked this question.
No, I don't, but I do still have my cool hardcore dude hat.
Okay,
From, like back in the day.
the mosh attire in like, you know, when I first started going to shows in Poughkeepsie was like hoodie with bubble vest and like cargo shorts and one of those black like hardcore dude hats.
Yep.
And then everybody just beating the absolute like shit out of them.
Oh, dude, you
And,
forgot
like,
the key part. You forgot the key part. It was Air Maxes or New Balances, bro.
Oh.
And look,
no
I'm
in-betweens.
not gonna pretend like I was like a tough dude at ever been. Like I would go to these shows and I would stand very far in the back because Poughkeepsie is notorious for having very hard dancers. Daniel's son being one of them.
Yo, don't you bring me up.
Do we have video footage of that time? And you were hidden.
Yeah, 100%.
I would like to see it.
Right,
Insert it right here.
But
Insert it.
I remember going to these shows and I was in awe watching this combat sport happen while at the same time like these amazing bands were playing. And still to this day, like one of my favorite things, and I know we're not the heaviest band in the world, but when we do get to the heavier parts, and whenever we play like upstate, our friends just go ham, and it's just the most fun thing to see on stage. And that's why I'm excited for this new music because it's gonna be, you know, the Carolinas too.
Yeah.
Like every time we play South Carolina, those kids love music so much they don't care if it's, you know, the heaviest beatdown or, you know, lighter heavy stuff like us. They go hard in the paint, and it's my like it's why I do it. Like I love the reaction from other people. Like I want to see the energy, and it's that's Mosh Legend in Poughkeepsie though is you know,
that's also a good difference of like how we were when we were younger, because Amanda was definitely like trying to crowd surf and I'm like in the back of the venue like, hey guys, I'm gonna be safe right here. Thank you.
I saw the Wonder Years like 3 weeks ago and I crowd surfed 3 weeks ago in my
there you go.
And how are your knees?
Still recovering.
Going back to the emo thing, I was too chubby to like get the skinny jeans because you had to buy girl jeans. Like they didn't make
they didn't
skinny guy
exist
jeans
for
yet.
dudes.
Like I was in high school from 2005 to 2009, so I couldn't find the tight pants, so I just wore these awkward baggy pants. I also like didn't know how to shop for myself because I was a teenager and didn't really care. So I was like the oversized hoodie, thumb hole through that was me.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. That was 1,000% me up until I got into college and then dropped out of college to join a band and then
and here we are today.
And here we are. So. Yeah.
Still unable to shop for ourselves.
Still unable to shop for myself. Yeah. No.
I'm connecting some dots in my brain right now. I'm just gonna throw out something that I will probably cut out. Do y'all remember a band called, I think it was called 5 Star Fatality or something like that? Like 5 something. I don't know. I had this neighbor, his name is Alex, and he was my first exposure to like Alex. A local.
I know Alex. Hold on.
You know Alex?
Do you want me to call him real fast?
we know Alex intimately.
So some of the photos from the Nothing Worth Keeping video, all the the behind the scenes photos from that, Alex took those.
And he also didn't he do the artwork for one of the
He did the maroon shirt that we have. No,
I grew up next door to him.
No, you're right. He did the No Home split.
Yeah.
But I grew up next door to him, and he was my gateway emo. Alex was my gateway emo metal person.
So crazy.
Because I remember specifically
you have to leave this in because we need to see
family,
if he listens.
His family was having a barbecue or something, and I went over there in like the beginnings of my emo phase, and he burned me a copy of Lies for the Liars because my parents wouldn't let me buy it, and that was like that was like when it all started snowballing for me, was like my next door neighbor burning the CD for me, and then all this other shit.
Really?
cut that. But he had a band. I don't remember at the time. I didn't know what their name was, but he had a band with some guys we went to high school with, I think, and we would hear them practicing, and my parents would be like complaining, like, "Oh, what is this shit?"
What's
and I was
that noise?
like, "Oh, this is so fucking cool. My next door neighbor's in a band. This is so cool." And now
it's
here
not
we
a
are.
phase.
So. Anyway,
more fun questions.
Sure. What is your go-to karaoke song? Like,
I believe in a thing called love.
oh wow!
Perfect.
Immediately.
Every
You
time.
were prepared.
There's no hesitation. It's literally I fuck with karaoke hard, and it's I
Love
believe in a
that.
thing called Love by the Darkness.
All right,
every
so
time.
Oh, nice.
we also you hit every like high pitch. You hit everyone.
I
Try.
do.
Are
He
you
tries
are
his
you
darn
are you
best.
a few deep and you think you're hitting them, or does he actually, or do you like?
I mean, we've
It's a
karaoke
mix.
in the van on the road, and I mean, yeah, he gets up
You get
there.
it there?
The change in the vocal,
Okay.
your vocal tone
Yeah.
there says no, he doesn't get there. You were like, yeah, he gets there. Yeah.
Listen, opinions are like assholes, okay? Some are shittier than others.
It's true.
I nail it.
What
Gus,
about you
what's
guys? You
yours?
got one?
So it, and I don't know if there might be video evidence of it. When I'm liquored up, I do a mean Adele. Like someone like you, and I'll get emotional into it. Yeah, no. I've got a higher pitched voice, and like I like to push my range a little bit when I sing, when I do it. But like lately, and I haven't done karaoke in a long time, but I've been on a huge Toto kick the last like 3 years.
There
And
you go.
Rosanna is my favorite song in the entire world. And I'm pretty sure like I'd nail that song.
These were both
I kind of believe it.
really satisfying wild cards. I was not expecting either of those answers.
Would have never guessed those
Although-
two songs in my life.
I have to say, in my limited experience with you, Dan, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, I believe it. Sure.
That adds
Oh
up.
yeah, I'm a wild card, man. I'm like, so we doing this tonight? Like karaoke? We doing this? Okay. Let's go.
But noted for when you guys do come back down here. But
Right.
another
Oh yeah.
another fun question that we always ask bands is, aside from not the touring setup, but like what items do you bring aside from like your phone or your wallet, or other than necessities? What are your need on
Like,
tour things?
Give us the dirt. Do you guys have like a childhood stuffed animal that needs to go on tour with you, or like
I bring my pillow.
What's
from
your
home,
necessities?
That's for sure. I bring a very specific pillow from home, but like I don't think it's a necessity wise. I read a lot, and I don't get car sick, so I can read. So like I'll just be posted up like. So there's my tour, like my travel bag, obviously clothes and all that stuff, and then my backpack. And when you open up my backpack, it's like the laptop for the laptop sleeve and everything like that, and then it's like 4 or 5 books, and then I have a little reading lamp that you attach to the book so I can read at night. Yeah, that's
Nice.
my have to have.
Nice.
Mine is a bag of liquid IV.
Yes.
There you go.
That so our first like long tour, we went out with this great band from Florida, Secret Keeper, and I did not hydrate myself the entire tour. And we got to Connecticut. We were like 2 days from the end. We played the hottest show I think we've ever played in a brewery, which is a giant metal room. And we got to our guitarist Mike's house, and we're making food, and I am like gray. I'm just the worst I've ever felt. I think I drank, the only thing I had drank in a probably 12-hour period was a hard green tea and one sip of the Gatorade that I had bought, because I knew I was dehydrated, but I didn't realize how dehydrated I was. And I just remember like feeling like I was gonna pass out, and it was terrifying because like I was just like what's happening to me? What is this? Like I'm like, and I'm also like just tired from being on the road, and like it was not a good situation. So hydration, I
Is
realized
important.
for this next tour,
Oh, yeah.
and we were like, this is our first time going out to Texas, and I'm like, I know it's gonna be hot. I'm gonna be hot. I need to be hydrated as much as possible. So that was the one thing that I was so excited about. And every morning I'd crack open a bottle of water, pour in the liquid IV, down it, and I felt amazing. Shout out to my girlfriend for getting me hooked on electrolytes because I need them, and
So,
I don't drink enough of them now that I'm home, and I'm feeling.
dude, I'm pretty sure I could answer for the other three dudes. Like, no question.
Go for it.
Go
All right.
for it.
Mike
Answer their
Rice Kristoff.
karaoke song too. Place a karaoke song for them.
Mike is gonna do Wonderwall by Oasis easily. You give that dude an acoustic, that's getting played. So Mike would do Oasis, Wonderwall for sure. I just have to believe that. And Mike's one thing that he brings that he has to have, he has a rice cooker. My dude brings a rice cooker.
Mike is the
my
road
dude.
dog.
He is
out
the
of all of
road
us.
dog. My
Like,
man's got camping
He'll
supplies.
sleep in the van. He does not buy food. He's like, I have
Oatmeal. Yep.
He's like, guys, I've got a banana. I'm set.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, more power to you. Because I'm just like, give me the hot dog.
Yeah,
Give
we're going
me
to cook out, bro.
Give me the
we're eating.
taquitos. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's definitely Mike for sure. Brandon would be his camera easily. He has to have his camera with him.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere without his camera. His karaoke song, I really don't know what it would be, because he's got such a ridiculously eclectic music palette that I really don't know where he would go. And then Matt would bring the haziest IPA of all time. My man loves his hazy IPAs. But you just can't find Northeast beer in a lot of places, so he makes sure to bring his comfort drink. It's not even like that makes it sound really bad. He's not pounding beers in the band. He's
as
not.
a collective, though.
This is
as
a judgment-free
collective, though,
zone.
The cooler that lives in the front of our van when we're on tour is our best friend, because you always know when you're like, oh god, I'm so you wake up after taking a 3-hour nap in the back of the van and you have no liquid left in your body and he's like, I need fluids. You know that there's at least a Gatorade or a bottle of water in that cooler that you can drink and it will save you. So that is our collective comfort.
Oh yeah, and shout out to Matt's mom.
Yes.
Every time we leave for tour, when we get ready to get out of there, she literally will have ready for us to take
2 cases of Gatorade,
2 cases of water, snacks and shit. She's she's bring my son back alive, please.
It's important.
Cooler in the van is a move that
dude, our cooler
should...
fits between the 2 front seats. It's perfect.
To be fair, I don't think
doubles
Alisana travels 8 deep in a van. I don't think there ain't no room in there. But if there was,
there are quite a few members of that band, right?
There are 6 plus 2 crew members. So.
Oh, all right. I have a question. I have a fun question. All right.
Sure.
What's something that you own in your room that totally makes sense that you own it? It might be random, but it totally makes sense that you would have that.
I'm gonna show it.
Actually,
I'm gonna show it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a fun one because it tells a lot about you see it and you go, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Actually, mine also has an Alex tie-in, so keep that in mind.
Yes.
I actually don't know. This is you stumped me. I'm like, what would I have?
A Guitar Hero guitar.
I have not had a functioning copy of Guitar Hero in 15 years, but for some reason, through several moves, I feel like I can't throw this out. And I got this sticker because I went to an Avenged Sevenfold listening party at Hot Topic, and I was the only kid that showed up, and that was when Alex worked at Hot Topic. So
that's so funny. See that makes sense that you own that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It just makes sense.
All right, this is what makes sense. This purse.
Oh my god, I love that purse. I've seen pictures of that purse, and I do love that purse.
This is my prized possession. Okay. Do you know how many people ask me about this purse? And I'm always like, I just got it on some random store. Lies. I'm like, I'm not gonna walk out and see all you Boston Southie girls with my purse, you basic bitches. No. Not telling you shit. You can't pull it off. But yeah, that's my prized possession.
Oh,
But if you know
Gus,
me,
do it.
It's very on brand.
Perfect. What you got, Gus?
I feel like Dan
Alright,
has a specific idea in mind. That
I
is
do.
why-
I do. I do. It's literally right behind me.
My husband's standing right here in the kitchen. I should ask him.
Let me not knock my desk over. This is one of my prized possessions. I am a huge nerd. Like a huge nerd. So
It's glowing, whatever it is.
I heard Anakin, bro.
this is
I
my
heard
lightsaber.
Anakin.
I swear to
This is the coolest thing I own, and it does cool things. Like,
Oh my gosh.
it's got a kyber crystal. See, this is why Dan and I are in a band together. Is because we are huge nerds. And,
was that literally your item, Dan? Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
That mouth moves when you talk.
Did you not see it?
I understood that it moved, but when it moves when you talk is when I lose control.
Well, so this is for like 5-year-olds.
Have you seen the video?
The
of the
viral
mom?
one of the mom in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I can think of right now. Yep.
Did you find one, Hayley?
Well, I asked my husband, and he gave me one that I didn't feel like was fun enough. But I'll tell you what he said. He said, I have a calendar, a chalkboard calendar in our kitchen, and I literally put everything on for our month. And he's like, "Because you're such a planner," and it's true. I am a planner.
To be fair,
It's on brand.
Haley
It's
is
on
also
brand.
a mother. So
Yes,
But that's
am
what I was
a
gonna
mom.
say though. But like, it's one of those things you own that makes sense. Like she would own that.
Oh, we did have that we sometimes ask is, what is your dream tour that you'd be on? What bands?
Current, all time. What are we talking about?
All time.
All time. Let's go all time.
all time, but also if you feel like manifesting anything and putting it out in the universe.
Throw it out
That's a
there.
good point.
Okay.
Poison the Well headliner. with
Oh, that's what I was gonna
counterparts.
say. You son of a bitch. It's got to be Poison Well headline. Poison Well has to headline.
Yeah, Poison the Well headlining.
Give me some
Counterpart.
Comeback Kid. Yeah, Counterparts. Yeah, give me some Comeback Kid.
and then
I would get Let Live back, man. I'd get Let Live back for that run.
Nice.
and the Chariots playing in the parking lot.
Oh my god, yeah, they are
In the parking lot. I love it.
in the parking lot with a generator. Like they're not. Like,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
generator.
Yeah.
I love
And
that
it's a
you
floor
guys.
show. Bass
Oh,
players
it has to be. Yeah, it's a floor show. Very intimate. No
I
one's
love
going
that you guys
home.
are on such the same page that immediately, just the same exact.
Oh, dude, like that meme from The Office when he's like, "So this is the stage," and it's like the pallets. I'm like, yeah, that's the stage. Bro. Let's make that happen all day.
We'll throw them on a mall tour.
Mall tour.
Mall tour.
I want to
Hardcore
bring. I want to.
at the
I want to
mall.
bring back mall tours. Like, in the 90s, you'd see like Britney
Hell yeah.
Spears, like before like they'd perform at malls. And I'm like, we need to do that and
Yeah.
have like Auntie Annie's samples in the mosh pit going on and like just bring
Yeah.
Oh
back
my God.
and you just hit malls. And I think it will personally boost the economy and bring back dying malls.
I'm just
Courtney
Yo.
had this idea last week, and the more I've been thinking about it, the more I think this could also somehow end up, taking back the music industry. No merch cuts at the mall.
Yeah. No merch cuts at the
No.
mall. Hashtag no merch cuts at the mall.
There you go.
That's like there's that one video of Dillinger playing, I think it was at
First off,
Tower
it was
Records
Tower
or something.
Records.
Yeah,
It was
in
Tower
New York
Records.
City.
And I was there.
Oh my god.
Dude, I was there.
Like that
It was
like
crazy.
heavy music just in the public
Yeah.
with like bystanders in the background, just people who are unaware. I love this new trend of like hockey teams having bands come and perform like during halftime, but like
the Hurricanes
like,
did that a few years ago.
it's so awesome because heavy music and sports like hockey go together.
Shout out Bar Down Breakfast. Bar Down Breakdown, not Bar Down
Breakdown.
Breakfast. Shout out Bar Down Breakdown. Because that's their whole thing.
Shout out them.
The whole shtick.
But yeah, I love the idea of heavy music in not heavy areas because then like normal people get to be subjected to it, and it's just amazing watching their reaction. It's just
You have to
like,
listen.
because like I come from like, you know, God bless her, I love my mom, but like growing up, she could never handle any of the heavy music.
Why
that
do
I
you
listened
think
to.
I wasn't allowed to have that copy of Lies for the Liars? Because my mom didn't like it.
and like just seeing like her reaction every once in a while to just something that I would listen to, or I'd show her something and she would just be like, I want more of that, just adjacent to what we're doing. Like people who stumble upon it and they're just like, I shouldn't be here. I feel like they should experience more things like that.
Maybe retirement homes. Maybe you should go play retirement homes. You'll definitely get that. Maybe, but you might be sued.
You might kill somebody. Yeah.
Maybe let's. Remember, you guys are
preschool.
kind of,
That's where we got to start. Start them young, preschool.
There we go.
That's where we're gonna start.
I don't know. I say preschool sounds great, but finish them off. You know, broken hits in the Pits Fest. Throw your fucking walkers in the air.
Just a circle pit of power chairs.
It's the slowest jazzy circle pit of all time.
On that note, are we ready for songs of the week?
Songs of the week.
Dan, you got one locked and loaded?
I got one locked. I have like, so it's more than just like a song. Is that cool?
Yeah, it could.
Sure.
You could
hold on, because I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it.
He's gonna put on the mask again, huh?
No.
It's a whole.
So currently spinning. Dashboard Confessional, the places you come here the most. That's currently on the record player, and I will turn it on once I get off of here.
Nice. Solid tie-in to malls and being emo.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. You know, speaking of malls, though, also, I just want to, as I always say, it reminds me of the Josie and the Pussycat soundtrack, and that soundtrack still slaps, okay? Because they performed at a mall.
True that.
There we go. All right, Gus, go ahead.
Sorry, guys.
Our friends in No Home have a new song out called Empty Veins, and it's amazing. And I wish I could write songs as good as they can, but everyone should go listen to that. No Home's amazing. All right, that's it.
Nice. Love that. Hayley?
So like I said previously earlier in this episode, I'm gonna do Alexis on Fire. And the song is This Could Be Anywhere in the World.
Yes.
That's the song I'm gonna do. I listened to it. Me and Andrew were traveling this weekend, and it came on the not radio, but the DJ thing on Spotify, and I was like, yes.
I don't know how I feel about the DJ. He's tried to make me listen to Leonard Skinner twice today.
I solely don't like the DJ because I don't like the fact that he knows my name.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
What's up, Dan? It's your boy X. I'm like, whoa.
And what if you had like a weird... What if you made your Spotify like 10 years ago when your name on Facebook was something like, was like your scene name or whatever? I don't... Whatever.
Right.
Oh.
Like there's... And he pronounces things wrong too sometimes. Like he'll just say some words that are wrong. Like there's a band, now granted, the band is Nevertell. And we've talked about this band before. And he's like, listen to Nevertell. And I'm like, Nevertell? What?
The what now?
Who are you saying? But sorry, go ahead, Courtney. What's yours?
I'm gonna do "Not Afraid to Die," Grayscale's newest song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know why I didn't do it on the episode recorded that week that they dropped it, because we know I'm a Grayscale girly, but I don't know what I chose that week instead. Must have been something better.
Boo. Drop the ball.
Bring us home, Amanda.
I've had her other song as my song of the week before. Britta Racy, my friend on TikTok, she put out a new song called "Embarrassing," and it's a total flip from what she usually does. She usually does like funky type stuff, and this is way more like indie pop rock. It's so good, and I'm proud of her for expanding her horizons because she seems very excited about it. So everybody should go listen to that.
Love it.
Nice little shout
Very
out.
cool.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
Real quick before we wrap up, plug everything you can now.
Yes. Anything
That's
else
good to see
you
it.
need to plug?
Hold on, I need an outlet.
Instagram.com/GoChantNY. GoChantNY
Twitter.
for everything.
Yeah, it's all
X,
yours.
whatever it is. Go
TikTok,
TikTok,
Threads.
Go NY. Everything's Go NY. We are Go NY.
Go Chant.
We are Husky boys from the Hudson Valley.
Yes.
Husky boys.
Every time you do that, Amanda, I fucking love it.
Anyway, and go catch Ghost Chant out on tour if they're coming near you. Can confirm they put on a great show.
Yeah.
But
It's sweaty.
it is sweaty. Very sweaty.
Well, you are
So,
Husky, so there you go. I mean,
Bringing it back.
Nailed it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. And yeah, we now have Ghost Chant on Revival. So keep up with our socials and their socials to see new music that will be coming out and catch them on tour and whatever else we have planned. Can't tell you too much. So,
yeah.
but all right, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast. New episodes are released every other Monday.